Hi, you guys. It's your girl, Brandy Glow from HipHopNYews. I'm outside, never inside, with Brooklyn's finest, newest singer, Kassana. How you doing today, girl?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
Tell me a little more about yourself, Kassana.
So I'm 23 years old. I'm a tourist. I was born in May. I'm originally from Haiti, but I grew up out here in Crowns Heights, Brooklyn, mostly. Yeah, I moved around a lot as a kid, so I'm like never in one place for too long. And yeah, I guess you could say music has been a very big part of my life because both of my parents are musicians, and that's how they met was through making music at a nightclub, and they had me, their music baby. So I've been doing music all my life. I've never had like a point where like I just started doing it. Like I've just always done it. But yeah, so throughout my life, I guess you could say music has really, been there for me to like.
What part of Haiti you grew up in?
I was born in Port-au-Prince, the capital.
How was it like? What's the environment like in Port-au-Prince?
Um, I'm not gonna say now was the same as back then, cause as of right now, yeah, they're not in the best predicament. It's kind of like a war zone out there, so everybody's like fighting and yeah, gang members against government, government against gang members. But back then, I guess you could say it's like any other place. Like if you've ever been to Mexico or like any Caribbean person, like you know the backyards of your house and how that is. So it's just like a very outdoorsy place. Yeah.
So how was it like adapting to an environment like New York City? Because it's big, everything's fast, and you're a foreigner coming into a new place. How was it like adapting?
Um, Luckily for me, I came here when I was 5, so I guess you could say adapting for me was a bit easier because moving down here, I started kindergarten 2 months after I moved down here, so I had to learn English and how to write and read in English. I already knew how to read and write and speak Creole, French, and Spanish, but I just didn't know any English, so they had to teach me all of that. But as far as adapting people wise, I don't think it was really hard because I grew up in like a very sheltered life, and my family is like very strict Haitian Christian, people.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really mess with the whole like I don't like calling people outsiders, but like they don't like us messing with just
The
like
world,
yeah,
the world
basically.
thing.
They
I know,
like to make sure that the teachings that they teach you at home is like,
stuck in you.
embedded in you. So even when you go outside, you remember everything that you're taught. So you should never be like too caught up in like worldly stuff and like always remember the stuff that you're taught at home.
Yeah, your parents are almost similar to because my mom's St. Lucian, so that's
Yeah.
how it was in the
Yeah,
household.
like
We're very strict. They're like, don't do this,
yeah,
don't do that, boom, boom, boom.
yeah, like
If I
for me,
catch
like
you,
if
I
they
whip
was to
you.
see me like this right
Oh,
now,
baby, we're done. A wig, we're done.
yeah, we're done.
We're
Like
done.
I wasn't allowed to get my ears pierced, wear jewelry, get my nails done.
I don't even have my ears pierced.
No, I didn't get mine done until I was like 16. That was because I started living with my foster mom, and like she is from Jamaica, Tivity Gardens. So like growing up with her is different from growing up with my actual family because it's like leaving a strict household to like a household that's like lenient in the stuff that they were strict about was very different for me. I was just like now I get to do stuff I didn't get to do before, but like I never wowed out though.
So how did you get a foster mother?
Um,
If you don't mind me asking.
no, you're fine. Well, I guess you could say growing up, like me and my dad didn't have the best relationship because when I came down here from Haiti, it was just me and him because he left my mom out there. So like he took me from her to bring me here because better life, whatever the case may be. But she loves her country, so she didn't want to leave. But when he brought me down here, I grew up with my grandmother and not him. So my grandmother, my grandparents, and my aunts raised me. And when he did finally get us to live with him when I turned 13, it wasn't the greatest because it's like I don't want to call him a deadbeat, but he might as well have been because it's just like being with a parent who's there but not there at the same time, if that makes sense. So like, yeah, we didn't know each other, so it kind of just felt like I was living with a stranger and not a parent. So like during that time, I just really wanted to go back home to my grandmother. But yeah, I ended up being stuck with him, and then like situation after situation happened, and then just like it was just too much turmoil for me, and I was just like, yeah, I don't think I can keep living with somebody who makes me feel the way my dad made me feel. So I ended up leaving home. I had a friend who knew about the stuff that I was going through at home. So when I told her the night that me and my dad got into an argument, I was like, I'm so done with him. I want to leave, yada, yada, yada. She was like, just come to my house, whatever the case may be. So I went to her crib. And yeah, she told her mom the situation. Then after her mom found out about it, she tried to speak to my dad. But then we went back home. Because I stayed with her for like a week. After me and my dad had that argument, I was with them for like a week. And then like at the end of that week, her mom had a conversation with me. She was like, so why you and your dad going through this, yada, yada, yada. So she was like, yeah, I want to speak to your dad. I'm just like, all right, we go to my house tomorrow. You guys have face-to-face conversation, whatever the case may be. We go there. The man was gone. And that's that story.
Damn.
Yeah, he had moved, where was it? He moved to Philadelphia with my stepmother. It was just like, yeah. That was just like a big reminder for me that like, I already knew from like when I wasn't with him that I wasn't living with somebody like who actually cared about me. So going back to the house and finding him and all the stuff gone didn't really mean nothing to me. So I was just like, hey,
fuck it.
Better for me. I don't gotta deal with that no more.
So growing up, how did that like you put that into your music?
In all honesty, if you guys do listen to my music, I probably feel like you would hear the pain, especially in Alexithymia.
Which is your first song that you ever made it.
Yeah, it's like the first song.
What was like the inspiration for that song specifically?
Just the fact that I was going through a lot. Like, I don't know. I feel like every year after I left my dad just got like worse for me. Like, I made the best of it like during those times, but like I don't know, like I wasn't happy during those days. Like I just felt like I was, I don't know, like just a ghost in a shell, just like moving on autopilot type stuff. And before I had made Alexithymia, that's when I had gone through like a really bad breakup with my ex-boyfriend. And after we broke up, I felt like that was the beginning of my healing journey. Because I used to be like 200 pounds. And I ended up going from 200 to 135 after that relationship. So like I lost a lot of weight because I wasn't really eating. I barely wanted to eat. Just smoking a lot. And then yeah, also it was during COVID, so that was like 2020. So nobody was working. So yeah, I was just at home, just sad, depressed. Just like trying to make the days go by however way I can. So when I wrote that song that night, actually, it's not the first song I released. We released another song before then. But I wasn't like as confident as I am now in making music as I was then. So I didn't like that song. So Day Day, my manager, he just like believes in me so much. I don't know why. But he's like always believed in me. He was just like, hey, I want to book another session. Let's record another song. This, that, and the third. I was like, okay, cool, yeah. And I was like going through my notes and like I'm rereading back the songs that I wrote, singing them over. I'm like, I don't like none of this shit. Like, none of this sounds good to me. Like, I need to, redo something. Like, trying to rewrite them wasn't working because I'm just like, I keep singing the original words that I wrote to it. So I'm just like, yeah, this is not going to work. So I came across that beat on YouTube. I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to have to write a whole song from scratch. And yeah, I found that beat. And it's a neo-soulish kind of beat. So when I heard it, like, all I could think about writing on it at the time was just, like, everything I was going through. Like, I was just so fed up with just being fed up with every situation that goes on. Like, I just wanted peace in my life. So I felt like that song was the best time to just, like, let out all that pent-up anger. And that's why I said, dealing with some bull, don't want to talk about it, just roll another one.
Ooh, that is very good. Excellent. So what genre would you describe your music? Because even listening to the song you just had created called Woman, you gave me neo soul vibes, but you also could sing. You got the R&B, and you're very good with your words. How would you describe yourself as a singer?
As a singer, I guess you could say, I don't know. Here's the funny thing about me, right? Like, I just feel like I'm such a multifaceted being that, like, I don't like to put myself in one box. So I never look at myself as, like, just a singer or just an artist. Like, I just feel like I'm doing what I was meant to do. So when it comes to, like, making music, like, it's more than just myself who inspires those songs. Like, for example, Woman, that song was inspired after I watched this movie called Sankofa on Netflix, and it was basically about like how this girl, she went to go visit this place in Africa where like they used to have slaveholders and whatever the case may be, and she was supposed to be like some tourist there, and then she ended up going to like some dungeon and ended up getting pulled back into the past where slavery was actually happening. So she ended up becoming an actual slave herself. And then she ended up being a part of like the slave rebellion that was happening on her plantation.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing that whole transition and stuff, it just like, I don't know, it solidified my love for Black people and like what makes us us. So yeah, so the people inspire my music as well as myself. So it's just like, I make my music based off of situations that go on, things that happen to me, things that people feel, like just whatever's relatable.
That's good. So I know we grew up in Caribbean households, and it's always a theory. We have like this main theory: you either gotta be a lawyer, you gotta be a doctor, you gotta be this and that. How is it coming out to your mom and your foster mom that, hey, I want to be a musician? Do not be mad at me. This is my choice of life. How was it like announcing that news to them?
Not easy. That was actually, I think, one of me and my dad's major beefs. Like, I think that was like the main beef between us. Because, like I said, him and my mom are both singers. And like how they met in Haiti was, I think they both went to some nightclub and they had to do like karaoke or something. And they ended up meeting each other through there. So then after they met each other and they both found out they do music, my mom has a brother who plays the guitar, and I think my dad has a friend who sings, or it's the other way around. But either way, they all got together and made a band. And their band was going on like pretty strong for like a good year. And that was like one of the main stories you would always tell me as a kid, like, oh, before you were born, we were supposed to go on like some 6-month tour, around Haiti, but we put that on hold because we had you. And in my head, I'm just like, I didn't ask you to put me on hold because, whatever the case may be, like, it was your future. You could do whatever you wanted with it, but I guess. But, yeah, so for him, I felt like he kind of holds a grudge against me because he had to stop his music career to focus on the child. Because I feel like my dad was still a kid when he had me. So a kid can't take care of a kid. So I feel like he unintentionally placed that grudge against me because of the fact that his music career didn't go out he wanted it to go because he had a child when he wasn't really ready to have a child. And my grandparents, they are like, if any Haitian know, you know how them Christians be. They are strict. So my grandmother and my grandfather have 6 kids, including my dad. And the way they raise all their kids is you can't have sex before marriage. They have to meet your spouse and the spouse's family before you guys even think about the talk of marriage. And yeah, they have like a very strict way of doing things. So I guess you could say my dad is the black sheep of his family because he didn't do it that way. Because I'm the only child in my family that was born out of wedlock. So they put a lot of, I guess you would say, expectations on him because he didn't go about the route that they wanted him to go. So when it came to him having us, it was like, hey, if you don't want to live the life that we wanted you to live, the least you could do is make sure your children grow up under, the rules that we set in place, whatever the case may be. So explaining to him that like all I really care to do is like music, it never sat well with him because one, it reminded him of my mother and they don't have a good relationship. So anytime I would sing, it reminded him of her. And then yeah, my family doesn't think singing is like a good profession. They think it's just like a hobby that you do. They don't really see how people make money from doing this kind of stuff. So to them, that's not like an actual job.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it wasn't easy telling them that. And like even to this day, like now, I just saw my grandfather last week. He's still trying to pry college into my head. Like, you should go back to school and, go for nursing, this, that, and the third. And it'd be hard to explain to them, like, that's not for me. Yeah, because for them, they just don't understand that. Because all they think about is the money, money, money. And like, I get it from their standpoint. Like, they just want you to be financially set. So where like, you don't got to worry because like, they know how that is. But they also don't understand that like times have changed, and you gotta like change with times.
That part, I don't even know how my mom felt. Like, yo, I'm an interviewer and a comedian. She probably take like a ladle and hit me with it. Like, you okay?
They don't take that stuff serious. Like, they just don't take that stuff seriously at all. Because to them, like a serious profession is lawyer, doctor.
You gotta be a doctor.
You have
to be a lawyer.
Yeah, anything else other than that to them is just like that's just stuff you do to keep you occupied until you're ready to like venture off into these fields.
That part. Now, out of all your work that you have created, what do you feel is your top 3 best works?
Ooh, my top 3 best songs. Definitely Alexa Daimia, because even though it's my second song that I've ever released, I feel like that was my most profound song, because out of all the music that I've made, I really put like a lot of emotion into that one specifically, because I was just like so fed up with life at that point. It was so real that we recorded that song legitimately in 30 minutes. Like,
wow.
With Bahama, you could ask me, so we recorded that song flat out in 30 minutes. And the way that I released it is the way that we recorded it that day. So, like, the way we did it that day, I was just like, it's good to me, just release it. I don't really care how it goes. And to my surprise, the song hit like 16.k on SoundCloud. I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that, like, at all. So, for me, I think that was the very moment that I really decided, like, yeah, I'm gonna, be an artist, because this just shows me that if I try hard enough, I could actually do it. Second favorite, the 2 songs that I just recently did called Affirmations and Witch's Brew. Yeah, because with Affirmations, it's like, I guess you could say that's the song that I made like after I started feeling a little bit more confident about myself and like confident about making music and like showing my music to people. Because before, if anybody knows me, like, I did not like singing in front of people. Like, if you would be on the spot, like, my friends would be with me and they'd be like, hey, my friend sing. They'd be like, really? Can she sing for us? Or like, ask me, like, can you sing a song? Like,
No.
I would do it, but just like, it wasn't in me. Like, it was just too shy at that point in life. But yeah, I guess like the more I started doing it, the better I got at it. So Affirmations, to me, like, I wrote that song as a self-reminder to myself, like, no matter how many times like I get tired of doing music or I lose track of what I'm actually doing music for, that's my reminder, like, hey, you got a bigger purpose with this stuff, and like, don't let the little stuff push you around. And that's when Witch's Brew came, like, right after Affirmations. I wrote those songs on the same day. And Witch's Brew is just basically like, yeah, so like, now that you know your purpose, like, get in the kitchen and cook up what you need to cook up. Simple.
That's good. So how do you handle like criticism? Like, I know SoundCloud, they got the little comment section, YouTube and all that. How do you handle anybody like who critiques your music very negatively?
Just criticism in general, I feel like I handle it pretty well, because I work a 9 to 5. I'm currently working 2 jobs right now. I work at a bakery in the city in the morning time, and I work at a Caribbean spot in Brooklyn at night. So if you work a 9 to 5, you have to deal with criticism from your boss and your employees, like, dang near all day, every day. Somebody's always constantly telling you this, that, or this needs to change, or that hasn't been changed, or this should be done this way, that should be done that way. Or even if you think you're doing something right, they'll be like, no, you should do it this way, that, and third. And like, you have to learn to take those things in and not internalize it, basically, because you just have to see it from the point, like, they're only telling you these things to help you get better at your job. It's not to make you feel less about yourself. Sometimes you will come across those people that say stuff in that manner that you can tell they're trying to make you feel less about yourself. But again, it's about internalizing, and like, I don't like to internalize other people's negativity. I feel like that's you and not me. So it's like, whatever you say shouldn't really affect me that bad.
That part. That is that part, really. If you had to like think of like 3 people that you would like love to collaborate with or in the future, who would the 3 people be and why?
First person that comes off the top of my head, for sure, Chris Brown. Because I've listened to him like all my life. And when I first moved down here from Haiti, the first 3 songs like I've ever heard, like first 3 American songs I ever heard was, what's that Alicia Keys song? Oh my gosh. Not I Keep on Falling. No One.
No One
was the first American song I ever heard. After No One, it was that song by Rihanna, That Story of My Life, Searching for the Right Place.
Yeah, I forgot that
song. And then I think it was that song by Chris Brown.
And Jordan Sparks?
No, it wasn't No Air. It was the one he did by himself. It was Deuces. Yeah.
Deuces. That's my
Deuces is
shit.
actually the song that sparked my love for R&B. Like, I don't know what it is about that song, but it's just like the way he did it.
It's because it's like it's R&B, but it's like rap R&B. It's rap with R&B. Cause
That's what it was. Like, he introduced me basically to like a new style of music from what I heard. Because at home, like during those times I told you, like my family was strict, so I wasn't allowed to listen to R&B, neo soul. So I didn't find out about all that music really until I turned like 10. And that's because I started stealing my grandfather's radio. And I used to like play with the knob and find like different channels. And I found Hot 107.5. I was like, oh, so this is what everybody listening to. But I have to turn it off before he come home. But yeah, that's how I ended up finding those songs. But yeah, I would say Chris Brown for sure. Because as a musical person, genius. Like he is just like musically inclined. So I feel like a song with him would be amazing for me. Because I feel like musically too we match. I feel like me and him would be good on a song together. Second person, Rihanna, but she doesn't really make music no more, honestly. And I only like her because she's kind of like me when it comes to music, I guess you would say. She doesn't stay in one box. Like, she does so many different genres that you can't just label her like an R&B artist, a pop artist, a rap artist. Like, you just know Rihanna as an artist because she does all genres of music. So yeah, she's second person. And then last person, I know people are gonna hate me for this, but Beyonce. Like, you know, like I'm not gonna sit here and cap, but when I first moved down here, a lot of the songs that were being played on the radio back in, I'll say from 2006 to 2010, it was a lot of Beyonce's being played on the radio, like especially like Ring the Alarm, Upgrade You, the Destiny's Child's music. So Hot 105.1 and Hot 107.5, they used to play her music all the time. So in a sense, like I kind of grew up on Beyonce, and she inspires my music in a sense too. Like my vocal ranges and all that stuff, I used to try to like imitate her singing voice and all that. So yeah, I feel like she's another person.
Do you have like any upcoming projects that you're working on right now?
Yes and no. Like, I'm working on the EP as we speak, but it's not solidified because right now I'm just focused on like, because I have so many songs in my phone that's just like not recorded. So it's like the amount of songs that I have out doesn't correlate to how many songs is in my phone. So it's like now I'm in the stage where I'm trying to get the songs that are in my phone out of my song so like people can actually listen to them. And I feel like once I have a good list of recorded music, then I'll start chopping it down and then separating them to make, you know, albums and EPs.
Another question for you. Like, what advice do you have for like anybody that's watching this right now?
Advice? Dude, I don't like giving people advice because you tell people advice, they still gonna do their own shit. But best advice I could give to anybody: live your life. Like, I don't know, don't let anybody tell you who you are. And I don't care what anybody say. I hate that phrase oh so much when people try to say, you know, they know you better than you know yourself. Nobody knows you better than you know yourself, because at the end of the day, they don't wake up in your body, they don't have to do the things that you do. They may experience the things that you may experience, but not in the same form and manner that you do. So at the end of the day, when it comes to matters of yourself, just like stay true to you, live your life how you want it. Whatever flows with you flows with you. If they don't, they don't.
That part, heavy on it. Now, if you ain't had to be a singer, like what other profession would you pick?
Therapist. That was actually like my main. If I didn't want to do music as a kid, that was like the main thing I used to always look at was therapy. Like, I actually like talking to people. Yeah, I don't know, everybody has the ear for it, but like I actually like to hear the sad, sappy things that happen to people, because in a sense, I feel like I've done so much inner work and shadow work when it came to my life. And like now I know how to help somebody else get through a situation, if you know they're willing to hear it, because the person has to be willing, can't just be speaking to deaf ears.
That part. And how do you believe like you yourself, how do you feel like you could change like the industry? Like what do you think you could be able to change with your new sound, your sound of music specifically?
Funny thing is, I don't want to try to change the industry because they got a lot going on in there, feel me? For me, my main goal is just reaching the people that matter, feel me? The people that get overlooked. the people that feel like, you know, the world in a sense kind of like forgot about them. So I feel like for me, my main goal as an artist is just to get the world to recognize me so that I could recognize them. That's about it. Yeah.
Have you ever tried making like music that's dedicated to your country?
Yeah. I make songs in Creole. I also make Afrobeat music also. So it's like, yeah, I dabble in a little bit of everything. So
Now, I know you said like in the beginning you speak Creole and Spanish.
I speak Creole, French, and Spanish. Yeah.
Where did you learn Spanish from?
Haiti, cause
Hispaniola, because
yeah,
Dominican Republic and Haiti was together.
right next to each other. And you know, like schooling systems are a bit different in countries, so it's like what's considered kindergarten out here would technically be like first or second grade for them.
Yeah.
So when I came down here when I was 5, you know, 5 is the age you start kindergarten, but technically I had already started kindergarten in Haiti. That's why I already knew how to read, write, and all that stuff. So in Haiti, they'll have teachers come from Dominican Republic and come teach you a little bit of Spanish. And then the teachers already speak both French and Creole, and that's the main languages they speak to you. And so it's like Creole and French is already embedded to you from the time you're born. So Spanish is just like
an extra,
you know?
like a bonus.
Yeah.
So like when you speak Spanish in public, does like people look at you awkwardly?
It's funny enough, I've had situations where I'll go into a Spanish spot and I'll speak to them in Spanish and they'll respond back to me in English and they'll have like a confused look on their face because they'll be like, they know they heard me speaking Spanish, but they don't want to believe that it came out of my mouth. I actually speak it really, really well, so they're just like, that wasn't fucking.
You could give me a little sample?
Buenos dias. I feel like the most simplest thing, buenos dias. At my job, basically, I have to deal with all Spanish customers. So, like, if they need anything else, I'll be like, algo más. Or if I tell them to have a good day, es que tengan un buen día.
Oh, your Spanish is good.
Thank you.
See, that's why I would be shook, too. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
my best friend, like, she's Haitian. So when she speaks French on the train, you and her have the same shade of tone. Yeah. So the white people, like, the Americans or the Europeans, they will, like, look at her like, she speaks French.
Yeah, they're looking at you like, how are you speaking another language? Like, they just expect you to just speak one
just
language.
English.
Or it's either that or they expect you to speak African.
I'm like, no, we speak the same language, we could communicate. So, like, was it like a language barrier for you? Like, whenever you be, like, in school and stuff? Like, even, like, when you coming into America, like, you have to learn how to speak English. Like, how was it learning to speak English?
Yeah, that was probably, I can't really remember because I was 5. So, it's like by the time I hit first grade, I was already fluent in it and understanding it. So, I guess I got to skip, like, the whole uncomfortable portion of, like, learning a new language. Because as a kid, it's easier to drill things into children's heads. When you're a kid, it's harder for an adult because an adult already has their mind set in one way. So it's like you're trying to shift a mindset that's already set. With kids, their mind is already open. There's nothing set in there, so you can just throw whatever you want in their head. That means so.
Yeah, because your English is like, you don't have an accent with your English. You know, like some people yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
And like people, like the English is their second language. It's broken up English. Like you.
Yeah, Haitians, they speaking like broken up English. Like, it's like patois.
Patois. And patois is broken up English. Like some people don't really know that. Like some countries speak patois. I'm like, it's just broken English.
It's just broken English.
So like you made music in Spanish before too?
No, but I've tried. Like, I'm still doing that now, too. Like, I have songs, because this is one beat that I had that's kind of, like, giving,
Dembow.
Like, you ever heard Maria, Maria?
Maria, Maria.
Yes, I have a beat that's kind of, like, similar to that beat, so I'm trying to, like, incorporate some Spanish phrases into that song. But, yeah.
Damn, that's good, yeah. Because I'm, like, curious. I'm, like, I wonder if she... Now, the Afrobeats, like, how is that, like, side learned doing the Afrobeat side?
Oh, Afrobeat, I feel like that comes to me more naturally than anything. Like, I don't know. Something about, like, Afrobeat and, like, dancehall beats or anything like rhythm and Gaza. Like, I'd be ready.
You know, we be on the chat. We be ready.
Because, listen, I've only been on the Parkway physically twice. But, like, as a kid, I grew up, like, being outside of my window because you can't participate. So I was allowed to like sit at the window and just like watch them go down in the street. So like I'm hearing the floats go by and like the music that they're playing, and it's like I used to be thumping to that Gaza music. I was like, ooh, this sounds, fire.
Yard music and the bashment music,
yeah, so
everything.
Like when I got older and like I started practicing on the type beats, I was like, hold on, I could actually make like a dancehall song. So yeah, now I'm practicing to like make dancehall music too. Only thing I won't practice is rap. I'm gonna leave that to everybody else.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, like, you ever try to like maybe rap or Creole or Spanish?
I feel like I could rap if I tried, but I'm not like a off the dome rapper. Like I could just start rapping straight up. Like I would have to think about it first, and then like as far as like rapping, you have to have like a certain voice to execute it in. Like I don't know, I just don't feel like I have a rapping voice.
Yeah, like maybe the Andre 3000, like you know the talking rap.
Yeah, like for me
J.
it was
Cole.
strange. Like with Beyonce, like I'm used to hearing Beyonce sing. So my first time hearing her rap, it was just like, oh shoot, you could rap, but like I didn't expect that from
like fast as shit.
Yeah, like I was just like I don't know if I could do it.
But yeah, like yeah, think about it, like doing like all. So if we probably gonna reflect that into like your album, like all three of your like cultures in one. English, like Creole, showing the difference between Creole and French, because everybody thinks it's the same, and you have to tell them like, no, it's not.
And even with Creole too, though, people don't really know like there's like 32 different versions of Creole, because it's a lot of countries that actually speak Creole, but different versions of it. Because you got Creole German, and Haitians speak Creole French, and
Saint Lucian speak Creole, and then you got Saint Martin, Dominica.
Yeah, some of them, it's like different versions of Creole mixed with other European languages. So it's like from the days that we were colonized and you had to deal with the colonizers, you had to learn to like incorporate their language with your own, because you couldn't just keep speaking in your language without pissing them off. So it's like they had to learn their language, but then you don't want to leave your tongue either. So it's just like, you know what? Give them the best of both worlds. Now,
right. That part, you just gotta figure it out at the end of the day. Now, like, how do you get ready for like a studio session?
I don't really have a preparation time, because the day before I just came off of work. So by the time I get home, I'm just thinking about going to bed. And then the day of the session,
like what you gotta have, like the weed, the drink.
Yeah, I gotta have my weed, but I don't like to smoke before my sessions, just to give yourself some clear time. Yeah, I just need my weed, my water. It's about it, just my weed and my water.
Some snacky snacks.
No, I can't snack.
You can't snack.
I always wait till after. I feel like once I start eating and like my stomach starts getting heavy, now the itis starts setting in, and like you're not gonna have the same energy to be in like the booth. And like, you know, so I'll wait till after.
And so like what's your creativity process for your songs? If you don't mind me asking.
I don't really have a creativity process. Like I just do it.
You just hit a beat.
Yeah, like I'll know if I like a beat within like the first 5 seconds of me hearing that beat. Like if it doesn't instantly click for me, I'm just like, ooh, I hear myself on this, then you know I'm just not gonna waste my time on it. But if I get a beat that's like that, where I hear it in the first 5 seconds, I'm just like, I already hear my voice on this. I can already hear the genre. I can already hear what message I'm gonna sing. I can already see the vision of what the video would be like. Then it's just like, yeah, it's a go.
So what do you do with beats you don't like?
I ignore them. Save them for whoever they're meant for. Because they're not meant for me. So I'm not gonna wait. Because I'm not gonna lie, I have come across beats that are like so fire, and I'm just like, ooh, I could really slide on this if I was a rapper. Like I could really slide on this if I made this kind of music,
like a little ones and twos.
Feel me? But it's not me. So I'm just like, I'm gonna be sitting here wasting my time trying to figure out something to do with this, and then yeah, rather than waste my time, I'm just, you know, stick to the rivers and waterfalls that I'm used to.
Now, like, what areas do you get like the most support from? Like, I know I had a friend, he was getting like support from Germany, Israel. Like, you know how you do your wrap up of the year? Like, where do you, what countries or cities do you find your most support in?
Funny enough, I just did my wrap up too. But I think for main part, it's usually the US.
Any countries that like stick out that you never like was shocked?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for right now. Because when 2023 wrapped up came, I was like, oh, people listen to my music in this country. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. But yeah, they told me people listen to my music in Indonesia, Brazil, the US, apparently in Mexico. And yeah, that was the main ones that I saw.
You were, which one was like shook you the most?
Probably Probably Brazil or just like anywhere outside of America, really. Oh yeah, and I seen China there too, but it said like probably like 2 or 3 people from China listen to my music. But I'm just like, that's still a big deal to me. I'm just like, how my music get all the way in China?
In China,
But, man,
across
I don't
the
feel
world.
like I make like grand enough music for it to be like going across the world and people like actually listening to it more than once. Feel me?
Yeah, because like China has like what 17 billion people, so it's like 4 people out of 17 billion. Like, hey, we have a new artist for you to listen to.
Yeah, this wrap up on is taking a sweet old time to get to the page
To be successful. But yeah, like being an artist and like doing media, like music side is like fun. I could tell.
I think that's my issue now, like, because I'm still like fairly new with the whole thing, because I didn't really start like pursuing music until 2020, and like that was after my breakup happened. And how Day Day even found me was, like I said, I used to always make music, but like I never thought about like getting them recorded. So I used to just put the beat on my television and I would have my phone. So while the beat is playing off of my TV, I would just sing over my phone and like record it that way. And then I would take a piece that I really like, because at the time I think Instagram would only let you upload like 30 minutes. 30 seconds, or yeah, it couldn't be longer than a minute. So I would take like a piece that I really, really liked that was 30 seconds long, and then I'd post that. And they used to get like a lot of views, like 2,000 views, 1,000 views. And mind you, at the time I only had like 1K followers. So I was wondering like where them extra 2,000 views was coming from onto my like already 1,000. So I'm just like, so I guess people like the way I make music, but again, I was never like interested in actually recording it. So when Day Day found me, he was basically just like, yeah, he likes like the stuff that I make on my Instagram, and he feels like I'm the perfect person to like put in the studio, because he himself was already doing music and doing that stuff with other people. But I guess when he heard my sound, he was just like, he really wanted to work with that. So in a sense, he inspired me to like start this whole music thing, just because of how much he believed in me, because honestly didn't see myself the way he saw me then. Like I didn't think I was capable of doing music.
You're a star. You have a different sound. So when people hear something different, they're going to attach to that. Like me, I like listening to different shit. Don't matter. Afrobeat, Spanish, gospel, or like country, whatever. I got serial killer type of music. So we're gonna listen to Burna Boy at 4 o'clock. By 4:02, I got Pooh Shiesty on. 4:03,
music genre gotta have.
I got El Alpha, and then like 4:04, we're gonna listen to some Parang, some soca, and rap and all that. So it's good to have somebody in your corner like that believes into you 100%. Because some artists don't really have people that believe into them 100%.
Like self-motivation is important, but sometimes
and confidence.
but it only takes you so far sometimes. Like especially being an artist, it'd be a lot going on, up in here.
So, like, how is it like working with Day Day, like one-on-one as your manager?
It's pretty cool. I feel like he understands me artistically, and he understands my vision and what it is I'm trying to do. And yeah, it's not like he's trying to change that or like reroute it into like some other thing. Like he's really just here to like help me out. So I appreciate that.
That is so good.
Yeah.
But it's your girl, Brandy Glow. I'm checking out with Kassana. Follow me on Instagram at Brandy Glow, at HipHopNYews. You can also follow Kassana at
ITS Kassana on Instagram.
And you can also stream her music on YouTube at
It's on all platforms.
Apple Music.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, SoundCloud.
And where they can find you on YouTube?
My YouTube channel, same name, Kassana.
Okay, that's good. And stream her latest song, The Witch's Brew, Affirmations, Alexa Thymine. And she got a new song coming out on the way. It's a secret though.
Yeah.
And she got to check out with HipHopNYews. Bye.